Alright, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Araka Kodash, double honors unto the apostles and the elders, a great minister that showed the whole well. Peace and blessings unto the Akim throughout the four corners of this world that continue to push this word in all sincerity. And with all diligence, is the brother Matt, and I hear from one of the great millstone camps in Trinidad, you know, and this is gonna be a a short lesson here, as we see in the times that we are in, and for those of us in the loop or in the know, we'll be in the mindset that this is the end, of this world or this age or this kingdom. Scriptures say, "Behold, a new heaven and a new earth, and the old heaven and the old earth is passed away." And that's speaking about the rulership, starting from the rulership, come down to all the inhabitants of the land. Esau being in that position of authority, which is his heaven, as the scripture talk about in the parable with Lazarus and the rich man and Lazarus. So we're getting ready to see, a new kingdom being set up, new authority, new laws, a new way of life where, righteousness will be the order of the day. But let's read this precept here. There is 2 Ezra 6 and verse 7. I'll read from verse 6. It says, "Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. And then answered I and said, What shall be the pattern asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that follow it?" And he said, verse 8, "Unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob hand held first the heel of Esau." Jacob hand held first the heel of Esau. So for you to, your hand to hold the heel of somebody, that means you have to be either below them or behind them. So you're in a position of inferiority to them, not spiritually but physically, because that is what happened in this day and age. We are inferior to Esau right now because of the curses that came upon us because of our disobedience to the Most High. So we end up in this position where we are. But what happened when they were being born was basically a prophecy or a sign as to what would happen in the end. Verse 8 again, it says, "And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him," when they were coming out of Rebekah's womb, "Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau." And to hold the heel of somebody means that you're gonna pull them down, like if you're climbing a ladder. When you raise your hand, or let me say, for example, when cups running down, when cups running down a bar boy, or somebody in a yard and they see a dog, and they go and try to jump over a fence, and what the dog does, latch on to the ankle and try to pull them down. That's the first thing that they're gonna be able to reach. So Jacob's hand, for those of you that really the account of what happened and really understand what it means that we who are the Israelites, which in this case Jacob represented us, gonna pull down Esau, who we know today as the so-called white man, or the white race, or Caucasians. So that was the meaning behind what happened there when they were being born. Jacob hand holding the heel of Esau means that we are gonna pull him down in this timing. He not just gonna fall. He gonna fall by the hands of who? Of us, through the spirit of the Most High Yahweh Shai. Firstly by this word, firstly by prophesying this word, and then the Most High gonna give us powers, spiritual powers, to defeat him in that day. Let's see if I can get a precept real quick. I believe that Isaiah. Isaiah 59 and 19. It says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood," the enemy gonna be Esau. When he come in with his martial law, in the time of Jacob's trouble, his civil unrest, his resource, when he come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up his standard against him. And that standard gonna be a defense. Let me see what that would mean. Let's see what that would mean. In the blue letter it says, to flee, escape, to take flight, to disappear, to fly, to attack on horseback, to drive at, to put to flight. See? To put to flight, to drive hastily, to cause to disappear. It says vanish away. Put to flight. So the Most High gonna lift up a standard to put those Edomites to flight, and that standard gonna be His men. And can we do that in this flesh? Definitely not. So that means that the Lord gonna put a spirit in us, to defeat Esau with his machine, with his gun, and with his robotics. Even in precept, I was just thinking about damn, I forgot that precept. But yeah, the Lord the Lord gonna lift up a standard against him in that day. Or Jeremiah, remember Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah 30 and verse 7, it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him." So the Lord gonna break that yoke from off our neck, meaning that we're not gonna be, when that time comes, we're not gonna be captives anymore. That gonna be the end of our captivity throughout all time, forever. But how we gonna do that? He gonna give us that spiritual power. He gonna lift up that standard. Verse 8 again, and then verse 9 it says, "And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it." So Esau is the end of this age, the end of this kingdom where you read about in Daniel, the second chapter, with the statue. Nebuchadnezzar dream a statue with a head of gold. Wow. There was a silver chest, and brass ties and legs of iron, and then the feet of iron and miry clay. That was the order of the kingdoms, to rule from the time of Babylon to the end. And Esau is prophesied to be at the end. He was the beginning at the end, from the Greek Empire, come straight down to the new Roman Empire, in the form of the NATO and EU. And after him, that is when Jacob gonna rule. This is Daniel 2:40. It says, "And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise." She was speaking about Rome. "And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay." And verse 44, "And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever." And that is this is in that time when Jacob gonna hold Esau heel and pull him down, and destroy him. That kingdom that the Lord setting up is his kings and priests, in the form of the Israelites going out there, within the different ministries, prophesying the downfall of this place. But when the kingdom is translated to us, we're no more gonna be out there preaching, but we're gonna be in that position of authority. So back to second Ezra, just 8 and 9, 6 and 9, I believe. It says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it." Guys, yeah, 60, I believe it's 60, 65 or 66. Isaiah 65:17, it says, "For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind." See, the new heavens and the new earth is just a refreshing taking place with new rulership. The scripture says the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. This wicked kingdom will never be remembered, nor even come into the not even the heathens gonna remember or reminisce on this kingdom. Because they too gonna experience righteousness and true justice and true judgment in the kingdom to come. Verse 18, it says, "But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall no more be heard in her, nor the voice of crying." You see, so this last show that they're gonna get on with here, last of the war, is gonna be it, and then it's gonna be time of the saints to rule. So with that, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Kodash, double honors unto the apostles and the elders of great men that surely do well. Peace and blessings unto the Akim, surely four corners of his soul. I continue to push this gospel in all sincerity and with all wisdom and knowledge and diligence. Until next time, I say inshallah.